Welcome, future chemists, to an exciting journey into the world of alkenes. Today, in Class 11 Chemistry, as part of your Advanced Preparation, we'll dive deep into the fascinating topic of preparation of alkenes. Alkenes are the simplest organic compounds, the very backbone of organic chemistry, and understanding how to synthesize them is fundamental. We'll start with easy concepts, build up to medium and hard challenges, and finally tackle the most complex, competitive level aspects. Get ready to unlock the secrets of organic synthesis. Let's kick things off with the basics. We'll explore some straightforward methods to create these essential hydrocarbon molecules. Alkenes are saturated hydrocarbons, meaning they only contain single bonds between carbon atoms and between carbon and hydrogen atoms, following the general formula CnH2n+2. They are the simplest class of organic compounds. One of the most common and versatile ways to prepare alkanes is through the hydrogenation of unsaturated hydrocarbons like alkenes and alkynes. This involves adding hydrogen gas across the double or triple bonds in the presence of specific catalysts such as finely divided nickel, platinum, or palladium, usually with some heating. For instance, ethene, with its double bond, can be converted into ethane, a simple alkane, by reacting it with hydrogen over a nickel catalyst. Another fundamental method for alkane preparation is the Wurtz reaction. This reaction is particularly useful for synthesizing symmetrical alkanes, which means the two alkyl groups joined are identical. In the Wurtz reaction, two molecules of an alkyl halide, denoted as Rx, where R is an alkyl group and X is a halogen, react with sodium metal. This reaction is typically carried out in dry ether to prevent side reactions with moisture. The alkyl groups from the two halide molecules couple together, forming a new C to C bond, and sodium halide is produced as a byproduct. For example, if you take two molecules of methyl bromide and react them with sodium in dry ether, you will obtain ethane. Now, let's test your understanding of these basic alkane preparation methods. Please try to answer these three practice questions. First, what products are formed when propene undergoes hydrogenation in the presence of a nickel catalyst? Second, write the balanced chemical equation for the Wurtz reaction using iodothane as the starting material. And finally, which common catalyst is typically employed for the hydrogenation of alkenes to yield alkanes? Take a moment to think about these. Ready to go a bit deeper? In this section, we'll uncover more versatile methods for preparing alkanes and discuss some important limitations. One important method for preparing alkanes, especially those with one carbon atom less than the starting material, is the decarboxylation of carboxylic acids. This reaction involves the removal of a carboxyl group, COO, usually in the form of carbon dioxide. We typically use the sodium salt of a carboxylic acid, which is then heated with soda lime. Soda lime is a mixture of sodium hydroxide, now H, and calcium oxide, CaO. The calcium oxide's role is crucial as it prevents the strong base, sodium hydroxide, from attacking the glass apparatus at high temperatures. The overall reaction results in an alkane and sodium carbonate. For example, heating sodium acetate with soda lime will yield methane. Alkyl halides, which are organic compounds containing a halogen atom bonded to an alkyl group, can be effectively reduced to alkanes. This transformation replaces the halogen atom with a hydrogen atom. There are several reagents capable of performing this reduction. One common method involves using zinc metal in the presence of dilute hydrochloric acid. This is a straightforward way to achieve the conversion. Another powerful reducing agent is a mixture of red phosphorus and hydroiodic acid, often requiring heating. This combination is particularly effective for reducing a wide range of alkyl halides. For instance, bromoethane can be converted to ethane using zinc and hydrochloric acid. While the Wurtz reaction is a useful method for preparing symmetrical alkanes, it has a significant limitation, especially when trying to synthesize unsymmetrical alkanes, meaning those with two different alkyl groups. If you attempt to react to different alkyl halides, say RX and RX, with sodium, you won't get just the desired RR product. Instead, you'll obtain a mixture of three different alkanes, RR, RR, and the desired RR. Separating these three products, especially if their boiling points are similar, can be extremely difficult and inefficient, leading to low yields of the desired unsymmetrical alkane. This makes the Wurtz reaction unsuitable for such synthesis. It's time for some practice to solidify your understanding of these medium-level concepts. Take a moment to answer these 5 questions. First, how does the carbon chain length of the alkane product compare to the starting carboxylic acid in a decarboxylation reaction? Second, provide an example of an alkyl halide that can be reduced to propane using the red phosphorus and Heim method. Third, explain why the Wurtz reaction is generally not preferred for synthesizing propane. Fourth, what is the specific role of calcium oxide in the soda-lime decarboxylation? And fifth, predict the products when 2-bromopropane reacts with zinc and hydrochloric acid. Pause and think them through. Now, let's step up our game. The hard-level content will introduce more sophisticated synthesis methods and delve into comparative analysis. For the synthesis of unsymmetrical alkanes, the Corey-House synthesis, utilizing Gilman reagents, offers a significant advantage over the Wurtz reaction. Gilman reagents are lithium dialkyl cuprates, represented as R2CuLi. These reagents are prepared by reacting an alkyl lithium compound with cuprous iodide. The beauty of the Corey-House synthesis lies in its ability to selectively couple one alkyl group from the Gilman reagent with an alkyl halide, RX, to form the desired unsymmetrical alkane, RR, in high yields. This method avoids the formation of multiple products, which is a major drawback of the Wurtz reaction. For example, reacting lithium dimethyl cuprate with bromoethane yields propane, precisely and efficiently. Another notable method for alkane preparation, particularly for symmetrical alkanes, is Kolbe's electrolytic method. This process involves the electrolysis of an aqueous solution of a sodium or potassium salt of a carboxylic acid. At the anode, the carboxylate ion loses an electron, forming an acyloxy radical, which then quickly decarboxylates to produce an alkyl radical. Two of these alkyl radicals then combine to form a symmetrical alkane. Carbon dioxide is also liberated at the anode, while hydrogen gas is produced at the cathode along with sodium hydroxide in the solution. It's important to note that methane cannot be prepared by this method, as it requires a carboxylic acid with at least 2 carbons to form an alkyl radical. Like the Wurtz reaction, Kolbe's method is not ideal for unsymmetrical alkenes due to product mixtures. Let's put these methods into perspective. The Wurtz reaction and Kolbe's electrolytic method are both excellent for synthesizing symmetrical alkanes, but both suffer from producing mixtures when attempting unsymmetrical ones due to their radical mechanisms. Kolbe's method also cannot produce methane. In contrast, the Corey-House synthesis stands out for its precision in preparing unsymmetrical alkanes through an organometallic coupling, offering high redoselectivity. Hydrogenation is a general and mild way to saturate double and triple bonds. Decarboxylation is unique for shortening the carbon chain by 1, useful for preparing smaller alkanes. Finally, the reduction of alkyl halides offers a versatile route to various alkanes, including branched ones, from their corresponding halogenated precursors. Time to apply your advanced understanding. Here are 7 practice questions. First, outline the key steps for preparing a Gilman reagent and its subsequent reaction to form an unsymmetrical alkane. Second, explain why Kolbe's electrolytic method is unsuitable for methane synthesis. Third, compare and contrast Wurtz reaction and Corey-House synthesis for unsymmetrical alkane preparation. Fourth, predict the major organic product from lithium dimethyl cuprate and 1-iodopropane. Fifth, identify anode and cathode products during Kolbe electrolysis of potassium propanoate. Sixth, discuss the limitations of Wurtz and Kolbe methods for odd carbon alkanes. And seventh, propose a synthesis for 2,3-dimethylbutane using the Wurtz reaction. Good luck! Welcome to the ultimate challenge. In this hardest level, we'll dive into the intricate mechanisms, stereochemical implications, industrial relevance, and advanced strategies for alkane preparation, pushing your knowledge to competitive depths. Let's dissect the mechanisms of the Wurtz and Kolbe reactions. The Wurtz reaction can proceed via two main pathways, a free radical mechanism where sodium donates an electron to the alkyl halide, forming an alkyl radical that then couples, or an organometallic pathway involving an alkyl sodium intermediate. Both lead to the coupling of alkyl groups. For Kolbe electrolysis, at the anode, a carboxylate ion undergoes oxidation to an acyloxy radical, which then rapidly decarboxylates into an alkyl radical. Two such alkyl radicals then combine to form the alkane. The efficiency and selectivity of Kolbe's method are influenced by factors like salt concentration, current density, and solvent, with potential side reactions such as alkene or ester formation, especially with branched starting materials. If a chiral alkyl halide is used in Wurtz, the radical intermediate typically leads to a racemic mixture, losing the original stereochemistry. The Corey-House synthesis, employing Gilman reagents, provides superior control over alkane synthesis, particularly for unsymmetrical products. Gilman reagents, acting as soft nucleophiles, typically engage in an SN2-like attack on the alkyl halide. This means that if the alkyl halide is chiral and the halogen is at the chiral center, the reaction will proceed with an inversion of configuration, a key stereochemical outcome. This method is highly effective for primary and secondary alkyl halides, though tertiary halides might favor elimination. It also tolerates various functional groups and is widely used in the synthesis of complex organic molecules, including pharmaceuticals, where precise carbon-carbon bond formation is critical. Its ability to avoid rearrangements and produce high yields of the desired cross-coupled product makes it invaluable in modern organic synthesis. Beyond direct coupling and reductions, other powerful methods exist. The Wolff-Kishner reduction and Clemmensen reduction are crucial for converting carbonyl groups, like those in aldehydes and ketones, into methylene groups, CH2. Wolff-Kishner uses hydrazine and a strong base like KOH in a high-boiling solvent, making it suitable for acid-sensitive compounds. Conversely, Clemmensen reduction employs zinc amalgam and concentrated HCl, ideal for base-sensitive molecules. These methods offer alternative routes to alkanes from specific precursors. On an industrial scale, the Fischer-Tropsch process is vital. It converts synthesis gas, a mixture of carbon monoxide and hydrogen, into liquid hydrocarbons, including various alkanes, using metal catalysts. This process is a cornerstone in producing synthetic fuels and chemicals globally. Mastering alkane preparation often involves retrosynthetic analysis, working backward from the desired product to identify suitable starting materials. When a target alkane, RR, is identified, we consider possible disconnections. For example, a C-to-C bond can be disconnected to suggest precursors like an alkyl halide and a Gilman reagent for Corey-House, or two alkyl halides for Wurtz if symmetrical. The strategic choice of method depends on several factors, whether the target alkane is symmetrical or unsymmetrical, the compatibility of other functional groups present, cost-effectiveness, desired yield, and purity. Each method has its unique advantages and limitations. Wurtz and Kolbe are efficient for symmetrical alkanes but problematic for unsymmetrical ones. Corey-House excels at unsymmetrical synthesis. Decarboxylation shortens the carbon chain, while various reductions convert specific functional groups like halides or carbonyls into alkanes. Understanding these nuances is key to effective synthetic planning. Let's tackle the first 5 challenging questions for the hardest level. First, describe the two proposed mechanistic pathways for the Wurtz reaction, explaining how each accounts for the alkane product. Second, if R2-iodobutane undergoes Cory-House synthesis with lithium dimethyl cuprate, predict and justify the stereochemistry of the major product. Third, discuss factors influencing side product formation during Kolbe electrolysis and suggest minimization strategies. Fourth, outline the complete mechanism for sodium propanoate decarboxylthione with soda-lime. Fifth, starting from cyclohexanone, propose a multi-step synthesis for cyclohexane. Justify your choice of reagents for each step. Take your time, these require deep thought. Now for the remaining 5, equally challenging questions. Sixth, explain the Fischer-Tropsch process's role in industrial alkane production, mentioning key reactants and conditions. Seventh, design a retrosynthetic pathway for 2,3-dimethylpentane, identifying precursors and justifying your chosen synthetic method's superiority. Eighth, predict major products if a student attempts Wirth's reaction with tert-butyl bromide for 2,2,3,3-tetramethylbutane, explaining why the expected product isn't efficiently formed. Ninth, differentiate Clemmensen and Wolff-Kishner reductions, highlighting applications based on acid or base sensitivity. Finally, 10th, consider the reduction of S-to-bromobutane with Lyell-4. Predict the product's stereochemistry and explain the reaction pathway. These questions demand a comprehensive understanding of the topic. And that brings us to the end of our in-depth exploration into the preparation of alkanes, from the basics to the most advanced concepts crucial for GE Advanced. We've covered a wide array of synthetic methods, their mechanisms, stereochemical implications, and strategic applications. To further enhance your learning and practice, visit synapse.omaps.in for more comprehensive study materials, practice questions, and mock tests. Don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for more exciting chemistry content. Keep learning, keep growing, and excel in your GE Advanced journey. See you in the next one.